And today, hi Cat in the North. Today I'm going to be reacting to this video. This video by a channel called Vino Farms. Um, I'm not going to beat this dude up. He seems like a nice guy. Definitely not a cocky bastard like me or some other people. Just a really seems like a cool dude. Um, so I'm not beating this dude up. I'm just watching this video and just kind of giving what I thought about it. It's being shared on Facebook pretty heavily. So the only thing I really know about this channel and the guy, I don't know if his name's Vino or that's his last name. It seems he started keeping bees 5 years ago. Went straight into YouTube, um, producing YouTube videos. In the beginning, he did make sure to say that he was a novice. He didn't start at the beginning, knowing everything. And he's very popular channel, and I can see why. It's good videos, well edited, um, just all around pretty good channel. And also for this guy, he got into YouTube before it became completely saturated. I think 7 8 years ago, if you started a channel, you could very quickly grow pretty well because only maybe 1% of people on YouTube were creating videos. The other 99% were people who watch videos. Now it's the other way around. Probably 85% creators, and I'm not even excluding myself. Um, Back then, it was. I think it would have been easier. Anybody who has a channel more than 5 6 7 years old who had good videos is probably well in the tens of thousands of followers. But I'm gonna just do this reaction commentary. Um, Even though we don't have a lot of people in here, I guess it'll be for the playbackers. Welcome, playbackers. So, at the beginning of this video, I'm gonna have to skip past the music because I'm not trying to get a copyright for that. Um, let's see if I get the right thing here. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna just play the first minute or so and stop it, and then I have a bunch of little. I was very responsible again today. I made a nice little list of all the timestamps that I can look at, and I'll try to get to those so that I don't play the whole video. Hopefully you saw this video, so this will just be a reminder.
It snowed in May last year. The apple trees never blossomed. All our spring flowers just didn't seem to come out. And the bees had stores from the winter that they hadn't used up yet. So they had food, but there was nothing to forage last spring. Then the spring hit and it was dry, really dry. So when the flowers from the summer started coming up, they just had no nectar. And the bees spent the entire summer last year just struggling to find resources. The entire year they were just behind, and the hives were empty. I was feeding my nukes starting in August. I fed the bees all through the fall just to get them into the.
All right, so let me stop there for a second. At the beginning, it seems that you got to remember the beginning part when we get towards the end, because he was saying that something I've never really heard before, that it was dry, and that this caused the flowers and everything not to have nectar. I don't know how you would really know that. Maybe if your colonies are just light, you could say there's not that much coming in. I don't know. I'm not doubting that. There's probably, not saying that's wrong. I never even thought of that. And also, I forgot to point out that this guy keeps bees up in, I think, Massachusetts. So it's different from here. It's much colder. Um, there's things that are different. This video is about him losing 13 out of 14 colonies, which is pretty bad. If you buy bees, that's really bad. Let me just check these comments quick. So Chad's seen it. I don't even know what this comment says. I'm going to put it up just so I can see it. Watch the video. He feeds his bees nonstop sugar. Yeah. Um, I'm not a sugar hater. Um, but yeah, he does call it honey. I think that's a common mistake, or just a common thing. You know, for me, you can just call it stores. But I'm definitely not a sugar hater. I feed sugar too. Out here, I definitely have to. But yeah, so at the beginning, he says he was struggling to get any weight on his colonies, but at the end, we'll see there's definitely plenty of weight on the colonies, and there's a ton of mountain camp sugar going on. That I don't like. So James Lee is saying might bombed. Yeah. Hey Rusty Pepper, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. I'm just going through this video, so we'll get to the end there. We're gonna go through these clips. Let's see. The second part I have is, let's see what I have here. I'm gonna skip to 336. I don't want to play his whole video. You'll have to go over and watch it. Um, there's no chance on earth he'll see this video. He's kind of, maybe he would. I don't know. But if you do see it, Mr. Vino, I'm not mad at you. I'm just looking at it from a different perspective here. All right, so here's where he goes into the first colony, and he must say something interesting because I have it marked. Let's see. Okay, that's what I noticed. That big giant pile of sugar falling onto the frames and going all down into the colony. If this was a living colony right now, he probably would have killed them by doing that. I had colonies die when I used to try to do this, and all the sugar would fall through.
Full of honey, full of sugar. This was a little nuke. Stomped dead at the bottom of the hive.
And if you notice, when that frame got turned around, all that sugar fell out of the frame. I don't know if that's from when oh, did I even have the screen up? Crap. I don't know if, let me back it up a minute.
Full of honey, full of sugar. This was a little nuke. Stomped dead at the bottom of the hive.
Yeah, see how all that sugar falls out? That's not good.
I mean, even the Russians, they can't believe what happened this year.
Yeah, he was talking about the Russians. All that Russian stuff is just total nonsense. I mean, to me, not because this guy said it. When anyone says it, I think they're just uninformed. Let's see, some TFB who bombed him. Yeah, immigration, they moved in. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, the mountain camp method, all that sugar falling down, I've never liked that. I've tried it a few times. I'll never ever do it again. I don't want my bees up there messing with stuff in the wintertime. But let's go back to. I'm going to go to 427.
Much food. There's honey all the way across here. This is one of my stronger hives going into fall.
He says there's honey all the way across.
The oddball hive. Oh, we've got life in here. There's bees in here. This is good news, unless they're getting robbed by the other hive. I think this is just a robbing situation.
Yeah, so that ended up just being a colony getting robbed. So yeah, they were just robbing that one. James Lee did mountain camp on his strongest hive, and he thinks that killed him. Yeah, I don't like it. I just don't like it. I've seen people put it on, and it seems like their bees were fine. I've never had that. I'll never do it again. Um, so it's just more of the same. He goes through all the colonies. They're all seem to have plenty of stores, which made me think about the earlier part where he was talking about there wasn't anything. Obviously, some stores got in there. And since I have winter nukes here, I'm not sure if you can do that up there in Massachusetts. Maybe you can. I'm not gonna speculate what you can do up there. But let's skip ahead to where it gets interesting. 8:15. Let me find this part. Let's see. Man, I'm really all right. I'm gonna back up here. Okay, we'll go to 8:11. Let me make sure I have this shared.
Last summer, they graduated to a full-size hive. I think sort of like mid-year. Oh, slamming! All right, that makes me happy. It makes me really happy. This is a slamming colony, and I don't want to disturb them, so I'm going to put this right back. They got to have a queen in there with that many bees. That's not a queenless colony. I'm going to give, they have plenty of sugar right there. I'm going to put a couple frames out front for them to rob. So, good news. We have.
Okay, so just in my humble opinion, my always humble opinion, he has a living colony. So that's good. That's good for him. He didn't lose everything, and they did have sugar on top. That didn't kill him. And and then he was right away thinking like it's not good enough that they're alive. I got to do something else, which was put some open frames of honey right out front of the hives, which is what he ends up doing. That's I mean, like I said, do whatever you want to. I think that was a bad idea to put some just capped and open honey frames directly right in front of a hive that is seems like it's doing fine. If you do that here, you're going to cause a serious problem. All the other you're going to attract all the bees, all the other survivors, and then they're going to go into that hive next and start beating it up. So I don't know. Don't do that. I'll get to some of these questions as soon as I'm done here. I'm only showing a couple more clips, and then I'm gonna leave Vino alone. So this guy lost all these colonies. I call these losses because these are losses. He bought some of these bees. Um, he treated them all. They all died anyway. Well, except for one. Let's go to 934. 934 is where his plan for next year comes up. So let me make sure I got this big. Let me hit play.
Tell them I said hi and get some bees there. I just ordered 3 new packages of bees. He said they're going to be in May 3rd, I think. So May 3rd, I'm going to get 3 new packages. I ordered a Buckfast, VSH, and an Italian package. The queens are going to come from him up here, Northern Queens.
All right. So anybody who knows me, you don't have to buy these bees. It's silly. Maybe up there they may not have as many swarms as they do in lower states. So I understand that. The part where he was getting a VSH and a Buckfast and something else. The note that on the screen says George breeds queens locally and puts them in imported packages. If he's open mating those bees, which probably most people do, he wouldn't be instrumentally inseminating them, they'd be more expensive. I'm pretty sure he's open mating those queens. So the VSH and the Russian and whatever, it's straight out the window. Straight out the window. You just got mutts. So don't stop fooling yourself with that. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. And then again, he's got a very popular channel, really popular channel. Probably has a great website. He should be getting swarm calls out the wazoo from people who their colonies swarm. There's got to be some feral colonies somewhere up there. To order what, 3 packages or 4, you got to be able to catch 3 or 4 swarms. But again, if money's not no object, you can buy bees. But what are you doing? It's not gonna. You're right back where you started. Let me get to the last part. Oh, 9:57. Something's really good happening at 9:57. Oh, which is only 3 seconds later. So I'll just play this. Let me make sure I have it on. All right.
Packages, I think, come up from the south somewhere. But May 3rd, we'll have new bees in the yard. All right, so we lost 13 out of 14 colonies. And I didn't do a deep dive autopsy on any of the hives to see exactly what killed them. My spidey sense intuition tells me that they probably went into winter pretty weak, and we had a really harsh winter. And the cold.
Okay. I don't want to play this whole video. That's not cool. Um, okay, so James Lee says he's tried his hand at swarm trapping. I haven't seen those videos, so I have no reason to doubt that. My first question is always, how many traps? How many did you put out? How do you set them up? I'll have to look at them to see how he did them, how many he put out. If you only put, I've seen channels where they put 1 out or 2 in the same yard and don't catch anything. But one thing that I always say, even here, well, especially here, because I don't treat my bees at all, I don't do anything to try to save them. And that is, if one survives, there's no excuse for any of the other ones. I mean, unless it's a extreme beekeeper error, have something that rain and snow got into, or you just made many beekeeper errors, which I do all the time. But everything being equal, if if one survives, there's no excuse for the other ones. If he had lost every single one, then you could throw a couple reasons in there. Maybe it was a pesticide or something crazy happened, but he does point out that this one made it, and they just don't know why. I'm almost done here. Then I'll get to these comments. Let me see. At the 11-minute mark, something happens.
4 months, so they just weren't able to do it. This box did it though. I don't know how they did it. It's exposed. It's the back corner of the bee yard. There's no arborvitae trees here blocking wind. It's on the end. It's on the edge. It's in the back. Like, I don't know. It somehow survived when all the others didn't.
Yeah. See, so there he's just kind of saying something similar to what I said. Look at where this thing is. There's no explanation for why this one's alive and all the other ones, well, all the other ones died. My explanation is, and I know I'll take a lot of crap for it, is that this is what I call a yard correction. I say it all the time. So if you hear anyone else saying it, that's my word. It's when, in this case, 5 years of keeping these bees alive and splitting from the ones that you kept alive, you're eventually that system just is going to break down. It'll even break down here at my place too. I have a couple really good years and then a couple just seriously killing years. Like this winter was a pretty deep selecting calling year for my yard. I'm not worried about it because I know that what is left is going to be my best ones. But this is what I expect. Anytime you prop something up for a long time, eventually it has to come down. So here is where he puts kind of the blame on people, basically people like me, which is fine. I'm used to it. It's not a big deal. But I always like to hear it. I don't know. Now, this is the part where he explains how he's done the same thing several times.
In the hives, and I noticed varroa on those clusters. And I don't know what happened. I did my treatments in October, like I did the previous year. Speaking to George on the phone just now, he suggested maybe because we had kind of a mild October, when you're doing those oxalic treatments, a lot of bees are out flying, foraging. You know, that time of year, they were looking for whatever they could get, which means when you're doing oxalic, you're not hitting those bees. And they come back into the hive and they can bring back, you know, varroa from other hives, especially.
So I've never actually heard that one. That one, it's it's a mental exercise to try to figure out why is that. To try to figure out why bees died. I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious, but I could be dead wrong. But there's some mental gymnastics. I've never even heard from seasoned treating beekeepers that it's because the foragers were out. You know, they came back with the mites. I mean, I'm sure bees are always passing mites around. That's not hard to understand. But I've never heard that one. The very last part I'll play is the part I was talking about where he says basically treatment free beekeeper may have done it. It's always kind of like the last possible straw you can grab at after everything else fails.
All the bees were super desperate, and they could have found a hive 2 miles away from me that didn't treat at all, that was filled with varroa, and these bees could have been bringing back varroa from other hives, and they just didn't get hit by the oxalic when I did the oxalic. The year that I had my best survival rate, where I had 100% survival 2 years ago over the winter, I did the apivar strips, and those stay in the hive for.
Okay, so that's all I'm gonna play from that. The interesting thing that he says is that let me just fix this. Well, the 500-pound gorilla in the room is actually sitting right next to him. That living colony. That's the problem. That's the problem with this whole thing. Is why did it not kill that one? And also, when he mentions 2 years ago he had 100% survival, you know someone else who had 100% survival 2 years ago? This guy. I did, and I'd never treated my bees. So I don't. The idea that when he says somebody over there keeping bees that didn't treat their hives and is loaded with varroa, that was me 2 years ago, and I didn't have any colony deaths at all. Um, so it's always just a contradiction in my mind, and it has to be a struggle for beekeepers that really do everything to try to save these bees, and then they die anyway. Um, Let me just look at some of these comments. Like I said, he's only 5 years into it, and when you're messing with bees, the first year or two don't even count. Really, you don't really. Some people it does. They just really learn everything. I didn't know crap until I still don't know crap. But I know that I never treat bees and that I still always have survivors. So that's why these videos always kind of get me. I mean, but I'm not mad about it. It's just an interesting video. So let me look at these comments. Oh man, you guys really put a lot of comments in here. So there's a TFB Kubandum. There's probably maybe they flew all the way down here. Um, the point he was miffed, he broke a cinder block. I didn't even see that part. He was slamming stuff around. Yeah, I mean, if they were dead, who knows? I mean, it wouldn't really matter. Mites, yeah, it's mites. I always say when my bees die, no, I'm not ashamed. There's my bees that suck that can't deal with mites. They're the ones that die, or from my own screw up, which I definitely did a lot of screw ups. What's my thought on sugar bricks if I don't like loose sugar? Um, I would definitely prefer a solid, you know, brick over the dry sugar. If I was ever to even use that, I'll probably never use a sugar brick or definitely never dry sugar. But plenty, that's the thing. Plenty of people do it and it works fine for them. I don't understand how because it's kind of like what they call confirmation bias. If your bees live with what you do, you assume that it's because of what you did, not in spite of what you did. And then you forget about all the times you did it and they didn't survive because you can just blame it on some other beekeeper somewhere. But I definitely don't like any powdery substance falling all down into my cells and all over the bees and on the bottom board and everywhere. No, I don't like it. James Lee mixed apple cider vinegar with sugar, bricked it. Yeah, I mean, there's a million ways you can do it, I guess. I, d- I don't want to track my bees up to the top of the box on a warm day and then it gets cold and then they're still up there. I just don't want to. I want to make sure the boxes are heavy as hell and then forget about it because I'm going to have an unlimited load of freebies in the spring and I'll have the really strong, true survivors of my own bees at the end of winter. Taylor Fritz is in the house. The bee business, you didn't know the bee business was this complicated. I mean, if you're in the bee business, I guess it can be. I'm not really in the business. Like my thumbnail says, it amuses me when commercial sideliner beekeepers come rushing in to vomit all over brand new, people that just want to keep a few colonies. No matter how many I have, I'm always just going to be a backyard hobbyist. He tried, okay, yeah, I got to look at his swarm trapping videos. Yeah, he didn't have any Swarm King motivation. Yeah, I would just be like, all right, I got this cool YouTube channel. I know a million people. I got my website. I'm going to go on these swarm calls and get all these freebies. Yeah, stock market. I try to compare it to the stock market, but I don't know too much about how that works. But I guess in the stock market, certain stocks can be artificially elevated in price and a bunch of people make money and then a bunch of people lose money and then all of a sudden everybody loses money or the people who got out in time make money. But correction, yeah, it's correction is a correction. Yeah, he said Varroa from other hives. It just always puzzles me that they somehow always skip one or two because he even in the video he says they were all bringing back Varroa and putting them in all the other hives. He's implying he didn't treat the bees. Yeah, what he's implying is that during the several minutes that a vaporization or sublimation takes in a beehive, that all the foragers that were out foraging were had enough mites to come back and reinfest the colony. I guess he's canceled. No, I mean don't cancel him. I mean he probably has other good videos. No, he don't be coming here saying I got a problem with Vino Farm. I'm just saying there's a certain way that treating beekeepers think, and then there's ways that I think on. Me says, "Wonder if he harvested any honey in the summer of 2020." It seems like he probably didn't. If what he's saying is, well, I don't have any reason to think it's not true. It seemed like they didn't have any what would you call surplus put away, so that he had to feed so much. So I don't know if he did. Maybe you can ask that. I know his video has over 1,000 comments, so I don't Don't know if I'll be getting back to you right away. um, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that video today. As I said in my last live, for anybody who's watching this time or in replay, if you see uh, any any creator out there, I don't care big or small, um, whether they're, I don't care who the hell they are. If you see them really smashing treatment free beekeeping, which I was thinking I'm getting tired of even saying treatment free beekeeping. Um, Let me know about that video so I don't have to watch the whole YouTube catalog. Um, and I'll look at it, and trust me, if I think they're dead right about something, I'll say that. Not that it really matters what I think, but the reason I get tired of saying treatment free, or sometimes people describe me as a treatment free beekeeper, it's because for 5,000 years nobody treated bees. Everybody was just a beekeeper all the way up until about 1998. Everybody was just a beekeeper. We are just beekeepers, and then all of a sudden these treatments started, and then now they call people treatment free beekeepers. It's like, no, we're still just regular beekeepers. Then there's treating beekeepers. So I don't know. I don't really care. It's all semantics, but I'm not against being called treatment free beekeeper, but I'd rather just be called a beekeeper. Um, if you, whenever you talk about me, you can just say he keeps bees. If someone asks me if I treat, I say no. Um, Rodney Middleton's here. What's up? I don't know if you saw the Vino Farms video today going around. Let me see. Sometimes my comments come through faster on. Oh, look at this! I haven't got any comments on here. Oh, okay. Hey, cool. Check this out. I saw another cool video today. Since I got some time here, he just got back to me. Yeah, let's do it. I found a channel today called Hirsch Honey. I just found it today. It was shared on Facebook, and that's the only reason I heard of it. So I went and watched, I believe, one video. No, I watched two videos. Um, Hold on. You guys still there? Yeah. Let me just quick pull up this video. I told the guy that I like this video and that I'd like to share it. Not that I don't normally ask permission, but this guy seemed like it would be cool, especially because I like the video. What was it called? Hirsch Honey. And he has a swarm trap making video. It's pretty. Oh, let me make it big here. Okay, let me go back to sharing this screen. It'll take me a minute here. Just a second. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna pop on here real quick. Show you all how to make a free swarm trap.
Let me pause this so I can go to the beginning. Sorry, my computer's acting up a little bit. All right, so whenever I find a video where they do a better job of me at explaining something, or even a different way of doing something, I'd like to pop it up here and show it. So this channel is called Hirsch Honey, HERSH Honey. And I'm going to play this video. It's only pretty short, but I think for you guys out there who are kind of stressing about making a box and making everything perfect, you can do this very cheaply by the way this guy does it. So let me hit play on this.
All right, I'm gonna pop on here real quick and show you all how to make a free swarm trap. These are molasses tubs. And they're the little short ones. They you can sell them that are free.
Oh man.
Smaller size ones. I get these.
So he's using a big tub. He called it a molasses tub, which I didn't even know that was I never heard of a molasses
We had
tub.
hundreds of them at the time. I got 20 of them one time.
You can go watch it on his channel.
But it's really easy.
If you can't hear it over me blabbering, but I like the way he set this frame in here. Or the frames. He put these two little pieces of wood on there.
Get them hard, hard. So
And then he drilled a couple of holes in the front. And you can see he painted it white so it doesn't burn up in the sun.
thread right into one of these holes. I drilled the first hole.
And then he smears a little bit of slum gum around there.
Shot air.
I'm just going to let it go to where he puts the frames in. Then you can watch the rest
Wax,
and hear how he explains it.
slum gum.
But I thought it was a cool video.
I just paint the front of that and a little bit on the inside. And it'll hold 4 frames.
Is it called?
And you can see on the side of the 4
You can
frames,
see where they built next to the frame that he put in there. So I'm just going to wait quickly till he traps these frames in. If you order the fiber pot traps, they also come in this size.
From a cutout, it's nothing really wrong with it, but as you can see, it's not the best. They'll put a lot of queen cells on this thing if they ever decide to swarm. So just pop that in there. Get some other Dawn comb in there.
Yeah, so there you go. That was hold on, let me turn this off. All right. That was the Hirsch honey video. I was trying to give you some more ideas for getting freebies. Don't be buying these bees so you don't have don't get in that habit of buying packages all the time. All right, protein tubs. Yeah, it seems like he said he got it from a cattle farmer, something like that. Maybe protein comes in them. All right, so that was my riveting reaction to Vino Farms video. Hopefully, it wasn't too, Swarm King style, being a jerk off. I tried to just say what I thought about it. If anybody else wants to rap about something, I can pull you up on the screen. If not, or if you have anything else you want to talk about, we can talk about that. If not, I'm going to get out of here in a few. But I'll give it a minute to see what anyone says. Let me just quickly check on here. No. All right. It's looking like maybe there's not much going on. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.